Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Village of Bartlett Board meeting for March 18, 2025. I call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Gunstein?
Here.
Hopkins? Here. Laporte?
Here.
Sawansky?
Here.
President Wallace.
Here. We've requested Reverend Catherine Irwin of Emmanuel United Church of Christ to our invocation this evening. Thank you for being here, Reverend.
You are more than welcome. Thank you for having me. Between allergies and virus, I'm just being careful.
Good for you.
Let us be together in an attitude of prayer as you understand prayer to be. Gracious and loving God, Holy One known by many names, beyond all names, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of community, Spirit of justice. We ask your blessings on the people who have been given the privilege to lead this community in which we live and work and play. We give thanks for the members of the community who are here to listen and learn and perhaps express their hopes and dreams for this village. As the agenda is discussed and the work and the issues and opportunities are before us, as they are addressed, help everyone to keep the needs of all of our residents in their thoughts. Help those gathered to craft policies for our village that will always endeavor to care for, to raise up all of those people who call this village home. In the name of the creating and redeeming God, whom many of us and I know so well through Jesus the Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This brings us to our town hall portion of the meeting. If anyone would like to address the board, kindly step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, and try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. Anybody in the room like to address the board at this time? Dominic, is anyone online that would like to address the board?
There is no one online.
Thank you, Dominic. Moving along to the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on items on the consent agenda. That being said, would any board member like to add or remove anything from the consent?
Yes, Mr. President, there's a couple of items, if I can get it all straightened out here. I'd like to add, under Public Works, I'd like to add F1, F2, and F3.
Does anybody have any discussion around those items?
We leave F1 off, please.
F1 is off. Anything on F2 or F3?
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear you.
F1 is staying off.
So we will be adding F2 and F3. Anything else?
I'd like to add F1, Mr. President. Oh, I'm sorry, A1.
A1. All right, we're going to add A1 to the consent. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to amend the consent, which this evening will be including the board minutes from March 4, 2025, the committee minutes from March 4, 2025. The consent will also be including the bills list from March 18, 2025. The consent this evening will be adding items A1 and be adding items F2 and F3.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Sawansky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Sawansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
That motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended consent.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Hopkins, seconded by Trustee Sawansky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Sawansky?
Yes.
Daney? Daney?
Yeah, I heard you. You know, if somebody's going to take something off my committee, I'd appreciate it if I get a phone call so I'm not blindsided. You've done that for me in the past. I'll vote yes with the comment that I just made.
Okay. Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
That motion carries. Moving on, next item we have this evening is the Treasurer's Report. Mr. Treasurer, you're on deck again.
Thank you, Mayor. The Treasurer's Report included in the board packet is for the month of January. sales tax collected in January was for the month of October and is in the amount of $676,203. This is the largest monthly total to date and is up over 102% from last year. Motor fuel tax allotments for January totaled $150,579 and is up 10% from last year. And our local share of state income tax for the year totals $5,415,896. If we were still receiving the local share at 10%, the total would be $8,370,782. That's it for the treasurer's report, unless there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions for the treasurer?
What caused that increase in October in the sales tax?
Sales tax?
Yeah, just curious.
Mainly the Auto Mall, and there's
Santa-
also a
Santa
business
Claus, right?
Auto Mall, and there's a business in Brewster Creek that's picked up too.
And Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Next item we have is the President's Report. I have one proclamation celebrating the 15-year anniversary of Bartlett's sister city relationship with Miaoli City, Taiwan. We have a few of our treasured guests here. So the Village of Bartlett celebrating the 15-year anniversary of Bartlett's sister city relationship with Miaoli City, Taiwan. Whereas the Sister City program, administered by Sister Cities International, was initiated by President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1956 to foster relationships with international friendship and cultural exchange. And we've done a lot of that, right, May? Whereas in 2009, members of the Bartlett International Chorus and Arts in Bartlett welcomed the Hakka Blue Shirts Chorus to our village, forming a bond that led to the official establishment of Bartlett's sister city relationship with Miaoli City, Taiwan in 2010. Whereas over the past 15 years, our community have strengthened their connection through shared musical performances, art and photo exchanges, cultural dialogues, and meaningful visits, deepening our mutual appreciation and understanding. And whereas the friendship between the Village of Bartlett and Miaoli City continues to serve as a bridge of goodwill, demonstrating that cultural exchange enriches lives and fosters global harmony. And whereas we celebrate this milestone with another musical event at Bartlett High School, symbolizing the unity, joy, and enduring partnership between our communities. And whereas the Village of Bartlett wishes to recognize the honor the 15-year anniversary of our sister city relationship with Miaoli City, Taiwan. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Wallace, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane counties, do hereby call upon Bartlett citizens to celebrate this significant occasion and the lasting friendship between our two communities, dated this 18th day of March, 2025.
All going to try and squeeze in? Let me get in front of me.
Just use your auto pen.
Yeah. Thank you.
To attend this performance group and ensure Samuel send out the message to all of you. It's May 13th at Bartlett High School.
And if you don't come, she might be small, but she carries a big whip. So,
Thank you.
I'll share this with
thank you. That is all for the President's report this evening. Does anybody have any questions for staff?
I just have a couple things. I'd like to recognize some commissioners, and that would be Robert Perry, Economic Development Commission. He's been served for the last 12 years. Dan Palmer, and I'm surprised, he's probably on vacation somewhere. He's normally here.
Biking somewhere.
You're right, bike and run, 8 years. And Rita Fletcher, she was just appointed, so thank you for your service, gentlemen and ladies. That's all I have.
Fantastic. That's it?
That's it.
Hey, are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
I think we should sing happy birthday to somebody.
Oh, you're right. That's what, this Friday, isn't it?
Whose is it?
Yeah.
Trustee Gansey's birthday.
Oh, we'll all know when it's going on. There'll be a big party.
Good point.
All right.
Let's all-
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gansey. Happy birthday to you. Woo, you're buying tonight.
Don't you stop counting after 30?
All right, if there's nothing else, we will move down to standing committee reports. First one we have is Building and Zoning Committee, Chairman Gunstein.
Thank you, President Wallace. We had one item. It was covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Gunstein. Community and Economic Development Committee, Chairman Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing to cover tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Gansey. Finance Committee, Chairman Laporte.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing to cover this evening.
Chairman Report, License and Ordinance Committee, Chairman Hopkins.
There's nothing to report tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Police and Health Committee, Chairman Swansky.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing on the agenda.
Thank you, Chairman Swansky. Public Works and Golf Committee, Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have three items on the agenda. F2 and F3 were covered on consent. The remaining one is F1. It's a resolution approving of the Stearns Road Reservoir Painting Project agreement between the Village of Bartlett and LC United Painting Company Incorporated. And with that, I would like to, Dan, if you would take that, tell us what's going on
You
there.
want to make a motion?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2025-24R, a resolution approving the construction engineering agreement between the Village of Bartlett and LC United Painting Company Incorporated.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Swansky. Is there any discussion?
I know you all received a letter, so did staff, from the painters union about certain issues with this contractor. Is there any validity to that? Are they accurate? Did you look into it?
We did look into it, and we had Dixon Engineering look into it. They have worked with this contractor several times, and they've satisfactorily met all the requirements for prevailing wages and completed the project successfully. So we believe they are a qualified contractor. I do not know the validity of what the Painters Union has claimed, but I just know from Dixon's experience of working several projects with this contractor that they've done a satisfactory job. Similar to Seven Brothers, if you remember, they've painted 3 towers in town. Same letter that we got from the Painters Union for those 3 projects, and those projects were completed satisfactory.
I'm just curious because, I mean, those are some pretty serious accusations, or, I mean, maybe they're not even accusations, they could be fact. And I was just curious if staff just looked into knowing if they're fact or not.
I'll also note that the Department of Labor keeps a list of debarred contractors who have violated the Prevailing Wage Act that we would be prohibited from signing a contract with them. They're not on that list.
Good.
But are they, what the email we got, is that fact or is it fiction?
I think it's opinion.
I think it's an opinion?
Yeah, I believe that the contractor, the objections that were raised regarding prevailing wage, regarding performance, and regarding OSHA violations, I believe, the engineering company that we're working with, they were satisfied with their performance in previous jobs, and we believe that they are a qualified contractor and also the lowest bidder. So I have confidence that we're not violating anything.
No, I'm not saying we're violating it. I'm just wondering if it was fact or not, and you're saying it's an opinion. So, okay, I just wanted
Just from the folks that we asked about this particular letter, we believe that, that may be their opinion, and they are certainly free to raise those objections. We check them out. We feel comfortable with this contractor.
Before we make any payments, is the payroll checked and verified that it's prevailing wage before any payouts are made?
So the contract requires them to comply with the Prevailing Wage Act. They upload certified payrolls directly to Department of Labor now. So that law was changed, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, so that they don't give payrolls to us. They go directly to the Department of Labor. So the Department of Labor would be the one making sure that they are complying with prevailing wage rates.
And from experience, if they were violating that, the Department of Labor would have them off the list.
So then the contract puts that all on them. They have to indemnify the village if they do somehow violate prevailing wage acts, the Prevailing Wage Act.
So we're legally protected.
Yes, everything that we're required to do is in the contract. It places that burden solely on them. They're where they have to comply with it.
Anything else?
I just want to point out that I didn't remove this from the consent agenda. It was not on the consent agenda, so
Yeah.
I just want that to be known.
Perfectly fine. If there's no other discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Chairman Daney. Next item we have this evening is new business. Is there any new business anyone would like to discuss?
I have an idea.
Oh. Light bulb, I thought. I don't know.
Yeah, you see it go. To create more activity in the downtown area, maybe to generate some revenue for the parking lot. I'm thinking in terms of east of TL's, the parking lot over there, but maybe food truck, like a summer permit that they can purchase at a very minimal cost where they can park there Fridays and Saturdays, whatever. We can figure out the details, but where they could park food trucks there. Do we want to rent that space out to car shows, farmers markets? Seems like we have a lot of space there that we could utilize. It would help benefit the local businesses in that area and up Main Street. So just one of those shower ideas I had.
Yeah.
They do that in Huntley, or Hampshire. They have a food truck parking lot, and they do it every, I think it's Thursday and Wednesday night, and it's actually pretty successful, so.
This way they could purchase it. It'd be good from June 1st through September 1st, whatever. You would get funds up front, and then whether they choose to use it or not.
It's funny, Sam and I did a mock job interview with a MPA student last week, and one of the things that she was in charge of was NIU's food truck circle. And we were joking, we're like, oh yeah, that's one of the things they don't teach you how to do as an MPA, but one of the things that you will be asked to do as an MPA. So your thought is right on target.
I know South Barrington, outside the movie theater, they had this thing where they did summer concerts, and you just bring your lawn chair and a cooler and whatever. But since we are partners with the Park District, but this is our property, and again, you could park the food trucks there, and and then we didn't discuss the rate. We didn't discuss the rate reviews and fees. But are we charging enough for parking? Should we raise it a quarter? If we're only $3,000 over expenses every year, it'd be nice to see that number boosted. Plus, with all the work that Public Works puts into cleaning that parking lot, snow removal, all that kind of stuff. So just looking for ways to generate passive income and increasing traffic in our downtown area.
I like that. It seems like, I know when Scott and I, years ago, were trying to push the farmer's market, right? And it was kind of trying to pull a tractor or something. Nobody really wanted to participate. But it seems like the mood has changed for those. Now that they don't have that vegetable stand over on that one lot, I think it might be worth looking into a farmer's market. My kids' age go to their farmers markets, one in Memphis, one in Denver, all the time, every weekend. So, just a thought. Good idea.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Anything else?
Someone from U46 reached out to me by email. I know I talked to Ms. Stone briefly about it. It was pertaining to a bike path near Bartlett High School. I don't know if you want to add this to a committee, or what your take is on it, or what we should do with this information.
There is a history, so just to bring everyone up to speed. When the village annexed what is now Bartlett High School property, we reached an agreement with U46 that the village was going to put in the bike path on Petersdorf from Army Trail Road north to the southern entrance of the school, and also along Schick to the entrance of the school. U46, per that agreement, was to put in a bike path along the main drive on the school property to link those two paths. They never put that part in. The village later got a grant to put in the remainder of the bike path on Schick and down Petersdorf to the northern entrance. The village still assumed U46 would put in the required paths. U46 is now asking us to connect the two paths on Petersdorf, and
It's their responsibility.
so.
And we have such a good relationship with them that they should accommodate us.
Yeah. Talk to Suzanne about that.
Seems like you have direction. Good luck with that.
It'll be the first project with the new paver, and we'll send U46 a bill.
Trade them for some property.
Yeah, we'll trade them for some property. Anything else? Any new business? Any questions?
Yes, can we have a brief summary of the complaints we've had of a property on Braintree that apparently is, basement is being subdivided out?
No, she said Braintree.
Oh, I'm sorry, Braintree.
That's me again. There's a property on Braintree that we had received a complaint last year that they were renting out rooms in the basement illegally. Staff investigated it. They had finished the basement without a permit. There is not a kitchen in the basement. It does not qualify as a multi-family dwelling, as there is a shared kitchen area. There is not two kitchens within the building. They did come in and obtain the building permits necessary so that the rooms are up to code, but we do not have any sort of ordinance regulating rentals of single-family homes. If someone wanted to rent out a room, they can. And we look at the different room sizes to determine the occupancy of the house. Based on the room sizes of that house, many, many people could technically live in that house. So.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, second by trustee Laporte. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Solansky?
Yes.
We are adjourned.